2026 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia WEL Comeback Everyone Future Wheels. Imagine this for a second, a name that disappeared decades ago, a shape that made people fall in love without trying, and now Volkswagen is seriously bringing it back. Yes, the Karmann Ghia. One of the most beautiful cars VW ever made. And the wild part? The 2026 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia isn't just a retro showpiece. It's shaping up to be a modern hybrid grand tourer with a little bit of attitude. If you're someone who loves cars with soul, history, and style, this one hits different. The original Karmann Ghia was never about raw power. It was about elegance. It was about cruising. It was about looking good while doing absolutely nothing aggressive. And somehow, Volkswagen seems to understand that bringing it back means respecting that DNA, not turning it into another sharp-edged, overstyled sports coupe. The 2026 version keeps that smooth, flowing silhouette. Long hood, low roofline, wide stance. It feels sculpted rather than designed by a ruler. The curves are soft, almost Italian, just like the original that was co-designed with Ghia back in the day. You still get that coupe profile that looks stunning from every angle, but now it's wider, lower, and more planted on the road. Up front, the face is clean and confident. Slim LED headlights, a minimal grille, and a subtle illuminated VW badge give it that modern Volkswagen look without screaming for attention. From the side, the roofline gently melts into the rear, and at the back you'll likely see a full-width light bar that makes it instantly recognizable at night. It's retro, but not stuck in the past. That balance is hard to get right, and this is where VW seems to be playing it smart. Now let's talk about what's under the skin, because this is where things get really interesting. The 2026 Karmann Ghia is expected to go hybrid. Not fully electric, not old-school gasoline, but a smart mix of both. Think of a turbocharged petrol engine paired with an electric motor, tuned more for smooth power delivery than outright speed. This isn't a drag racer. It's a car meant for relaxed highway cruising, twisty coastal roads, and daily driving that still feels special. The hybrid setup should offer strong low-end torque, which means effortless acceleration without needing to rev the engine like crazy. It'll feel quick when you need it, calm when you don't. And of course, fuel efficiency will be a big plus, especially for people who love stylish cars but don't want to live at the fuel pump. There's also talk that Volkswagen might offer different hybrid tunes, maybe even a slightly sportier version later on. Not a full performance monster, but something that gives enthusiasts a bit more excitement. And here's the surprise part: off-road features. No, the Karmann Ghia isn't suddenly becoming an SUV. But Volkswagen knows modern buyers love versatility. So expect a mild raised suspension option or an all-road package with adaptive drive modes, improved traction control, and maybe even AWD on certain trims. This doesn't mean rock crawling. It means confidence. Bad roads, rain, gravel, uneven surfaces, the kind of stuff people actually deal with every day. It makes the car usable, not delicate. Inside the cabin, this is where nostalgia meets the future. Volkswagen is expected to keep the interior simple, elegant, and driver-focused, just like the original, but with modern tech seamlessly blended in. You'll likely see a clean dashboard layout with a digital instrument cluster that can switch between classic-style displays and modern views. A wide infotainment screen sits in the center, but it won't dominate the cabin. Physical controls are expected to make a comeback here, especially for climate and drive settings, because VW has learned that people actually like buttons. Materials matter in a car like this. Soft leather, contrast stitching, brushed metal accents, and maybe even color options inspired by classic Karmann Ghia interiors. It should feel warm and personal, not cold and futuristic. Seats will be designed for comfort first. This is a grand tourer, after all. Long drives should feel effortless, whether you're alone or with a passenger. Rear seats, if included, will likely be more for occasional use, just like the original, but trunk space should be practical enough for weekend trips. Now let's talk money, because that always matters. The 2026 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia is expected to sit above the Golf and below premium coupes from brands like Audi and BMW. Early estimates suggest a starting price somewhere in the mid-$30,000 range, with higher trims and hybrid upgrades pushing it into the low-$40,000s. That actually makes sense. You're paying for design, heritage, and modern hybrid tech, not just horsepower numbers. Compared to rivals, it could be one of the most emotionally appealing cars in its price range. And when you compare it to the classic Karmann Ghia, the philosophy hasn't changed, only the tools have. The original wasn't fast. It wasn't loud. It was beautiful, comfortable, and timeless. The 2026 version follows that same mindset, just adapted for today's world of efficiency, safety, and technology. This isn't a car trying to compete with muscle cars or hardcore sports coupes. It's a car for people who want to enjoy driving again. For people who appreciate design. For people who want something different from the endless sea of crossovers. If Volkswagen gets this right, and all signs suggest they might, the 2026 Karmann Ghia could become one of those rare modern cars that people talk about years later. Not because it was the fastest, but because it made people feel something.